let's get right to it. What happens if we do not see a deal in Washington today?
Well, it'll be one of the most stupid things that's ever happened, but the idea that we should take 237 years where we built up a reputation for behaving properly in financial matters and blow it because of 535 people in Washington, it's insanity. But I do think it will get resolved.
In the next 16 hours?
I think it's likely to, Poppy, yeah.
What tells you that?
Well, I just think that people play brinkmanship's game sometimes, but it is totally asinine to have a debt ceiling at all and to use it as a means to try and get your way on anything else, whether it's abortion, gun control, Obamacare, you name it. It's a political weapon of mass destruction that shouldn't be used, and it's being used, and I think it'll get resolved, but I think it never should be used again. I think both parties should say, this is ridiculous. Why worry the world? Why worry the American people? It was something that's unthinkable, basically.
I want to talk about Main Street, all the people outside of the Beltway, outside of Washington, the people that this is really hurting. I wonder, as a businessman who runs 70-plus companies, who knows the economy better than almost anyone, and the implication on jobs and hiring, do you think that the politicians that are dealing with this right now really understand the implications of what this means for the average person in their life?
Well, some of them don't. I mean, this is not being done by all 535.
Okay, but the ones that are making the headlines.
They are playing games, while millions of people, hundreds of millions of people, are wondering how it's going to affect them. And they don't have any business doing that. The debt ceiling should not be used as a weapon. If you want to argue about gun control, abortion, immigration, argue about those matters, but to hold the full faith and credit of the United States, something we've spent 237 years building up a reputation on, to hold that in jeopardy is nuts.
But also to the argument, and we've heard many saying this in recent days from the right, you're just kicking the can down the road. We're not going to write a blank check to the president. We have to solve this. Aren't we just kicking the can down the road by raising the debt ceiling again, a temporary deal?
Congress appropriates money. It isn't the President of the United States. So it is Congress that can argue about how much to tax, how much to spend, and all of that. And the President signs bills when they come to him, or he doesn't. But it is not the President that is spending money. Mm-hmm. The Congress is spending money.
So you're not concerned about kicking the can down the road?
Well, I am concerned about kicking the can down the road anytime.
But I believe in making decisions. Immediate concern right now.
But the can should disappear. I mean, in terms of the debt ceiling. You can argue about budgets. That's the job of Congress, to argue about budgets. But the idea that you're going to just reenact this present scenario 2 months from now is crazy.
I want to read some comments to you. These came from Representative Steve King this morning on CNN's New Day. And he said in part, quote, "I'm not worried about this thing they term default." He went on to say, "I'm concerned that the president's remarks will scare the markets." Saying that a default is a date on a calendar and that the rhetoric is what's concerning right now.
No.
Your reaction?
If you build a reputation for 237 years like the United States has for being the bastion of soundness, I mean, we're the reserve currency of the world, and it isn't the president that's causing the problem. I mean, simply get rid of the debt ceiling would be the best thing, but enact a long-term debt ceiling with a big number if they want, and then get back to arguing about the other things.
How worried should we be, to quote here, about this thing they term default? I mean, the real implications.
You certainly have to worry if there's 535 Steve Kings, that's for sure. But I personally think a majority will do the right thing before very long. If they don't, they're out of their minds, but I don't think they are. I think they will do the right thing, but I don't think Steve King will.
I want to talk about this argument also that we're hearing it from some on the right, saying that if this country goes ahead and pays the interest on its bonds, that nothing bad is going to happen.
You can't start writing checks to some and not checks to others. I mean, you either pay your bills or you don't pay your bills. You're either a deadbeat or you're somebody whose credit can be counted on. And like I say, we built up a wonderful reputation over 237 years. And to have these people blow it would be a terrible mistake.
We know you're a Democrat, a big supporter of the president. Have you had discussions with President Obama in the last 2-3 weeks?
I had one very short phone call, yeah.
And can you tell us about it?
No.